Welcome back to another episode of The Cure for Cowardice. Now, in this one, I wanted to touch very briefly on my thoughts on dating and relationships and significant others in general. So, this is something that I feel, again, is one of those human conditions where none of us really have it quite figured out. And what ends up happening is we have this persona in mind. The squirrels are going crazy. We have this persona in mind of the quote-unquote ideal partner. And as our standards raise, as we understand how we want to be treated and the dynamic we want to have, and even when it comes to what we are attracted to physically or mentally or emotionally or spiritually, our standards continually raise. And then it reaches a certain point. I would say for guys, it's usually between the ages of 25 to 30. Women, I would say it's probably the same for both, but it reaches a certain point where all of a sudden you wake up one day, and if you are with somebody who you aren't totally satisfied with, you start to compromise in your mind. And you start to realize that, maybe the person that I'm with is not so bad after all. And maybe I can deal with this long term and be okay with it. And so our standards drop to meet the point where we are right now. And if we're not with somebody, sorry, I'm checking out this possum that's walking around. If we're not with somebody, then we have this deep sense of loneliness, which turns into panic over time because we realize, oh shit, I'm not getting any younger. And that starts to kind of compound upon itself until we start to drop our standards. And then, regardless of how it happens, everybody ends up at a point, for the most part, everybody, where they realize that they're going to have to be with somebody who is not necessarily ideal. And I think for most people that's okay, as long as they don't go too far away from their standards. And as long as they have the most important things as lines that cannot be crossed. And I've kind of gone back and forth on it many times myself. And because I've been on this path of self-development for so many years, it actually started because when I was in high school, I met somebody who I fell very deeply in love with, and I thought that she was going to be my partner for life. And then she ended up being probably the worst thing that ever happened to me for a variety of reasons, but essentially she hurt me worse than anybody has ever hurt me before, leading to very, very, very massive trust issues of future partners, and by extent I would say women in general. And in about, what's today? The 12th? So in 1 week, 7 days, it will be the 5-year anniversary of leaving her. And I have not been in a relationship since. It's very loud. I don't know if you'll be able to hear me, so I'm going to wait till I cross this little bridge here. Or that works too. I have not been in a relationship since then. And I've gone back and forth many times on whether I should be pursuing another relationship, the pros and cons. And usually the decision that I land on is that if I were to pursue a relationship, number one, it would pull away from what I'm trying to do and who I'm trying to become. And number two, in order to find and connect with and eventually become a partner to somebody that I would like to, somebody who is at my current standards, I don't think she would be attracted to me for where I'm at right now in life. I don't know if I would be capable of attracting her, and if I did, it would be a miracle. Now, with that being said, there's a part of me that thinks that she is out there somewhere right now having the same thoughts about me, and that she needs to continually improve herself to reach a point where she can attract the level of man that she wants to, who in every way is the type of man that I am on my way to becoming, but nowhere close to completion yet. And so it's kind of this catch-22. It's like, if both of us are out there searching for and longing for each other, neither of us are going to be attracted to one another, because if we were to come across one another, we would not meet the standards that we desire. So what we do is, instead of searching for one another, we continually try to improve ourselves and become the type of person that would attract one another. The problem, of course, being that if neither of us are looking for one another because we're out there focusing on ourselves, the question is, are we going to ever find each other? Or are we just going to be stuck in this cycle where we feel like we're not good enough for each other yet, and just continue to improve and never actually end up becoming partners? And that's kind of the dilemma that I've been in, and I would imagine that she is in as well. And because I'm sure that she's going to watch this someday, if you're watching this, love you, honey. Thanks for sticking it out. I can't wait to meet you. And I know that when I do meet you, I would highly doubt that I am to the point that I want to be yet. And on that same note, I highly doubt that you are where you want to be yet either. But I know that together we can build each other and ourselves to the point that we never could have accomplished on our own. And I know that I can make you happy, and that you can make me happy. It's a lonely path that we're on. And even though I haven't met you yet, or maybe I have and I don't even know it, I'm just glad that you're there with me. And I hope that you're glad that I'm there with you. So, anyway, I think there's like most things in life, it's not binary. It's not, are you looking or are you not looking? It's not, are you working on yourself or are you not working on yourself? It's, how much are you looking? How much are you working on yourself? And I think something that she will also be able to agree with, and hopefully this message transfers to her wherever she is if we do 80% working on ourselves, 20% looking for each other, and we can commit to that until we find each other, I think it'll be the best of both worlds. And while we may not progress as fast as we could if we were 100% committed to working on ourselves, I think as soon as we find each other and actually can get started with our relationship, I think we're going to be extremely surprised by how fast we can progress our own lives when we have each other to support each other. So I am committing to it. I hope that somewhere she's having these thoughts and committing to it as well. And I can't wait to meet you. And if I've already met you, well, what's up? Anyway, I think that's what I got for this one, so I'll catch you all on the flip side.